We've already seen one aspect of inventory cost and how it affects. So we saw that inventory goes up when we buy material from far, far away. And well, this has an impact on all the buckets of inventory, the pipeline, the safety stock, the cycle stock. It has an effect on all the buckets. But a more important effect is that it reduces our ability to be flexible and respond positively to demand spurts or downturn in demand. So that's an important part. And now let's go through a laundry list of many different costs related to inventory. There are two categories basically, the cost of having less and the cost of having a lot. The cost of having a less, the most important is this cost of lost customer, which is three parts. One is back order. The back order cost includes the cost of creating special delivery for customers, or about creating special production orders for customers. The lost sale is the customer comes to my shop and says, I don't have it. The customer goes to the neighborhood store and buys it, and but still comes back to me the next time. The lost customer is sometimes the customer come to my shop for something, I don't have it, so the customer goes to the neighborhood store, falls in love with the person there, and stops coming to my store. So that's a lost customer. It is difficult to actually identify which of these three, the actual ratio. So companies make thumb rules based on some surveys or researches of what actually are these three costs. The cost of lost flexibility we already talked about in the previous video, and besides this there are other costs of because I order too frequently, I would have to have a larger purchasing department because there are more purchase orders that need to be processed, more payment cycles to be done, so the salaries of purchasing department would be higher. Because I'm ordering frequently, I have to keep checking my inventory so that I don't run out of material. So that there's a cost of controlling, there's a cost of ensuring that I keep track of the material I have in real time. So setting up systems and expense. Because I have lesser inventory, I'm probably shipping in smaller quantities. And shipping in smaller quantities is always more expensive than shipping in bulk, even at per pound rates. So there's a cost of that. Versus if I have too much, well, there are some cost on that side. I need a larger storage warehouse, the cost of more insurance because I have more stuff. If I hold a lot more, there is a chance of the item getting out of fashion, or getting the expiry date. I'm losing because of that. When I have more, I am tempting people to steal. Having more is a temptation. I There is cash blocked, so there is a cost of cash, and because that cash blocked, there is a cost of interest. And that cash block means I cannot invest that cash in buying something else or using it for some other project, so which is an opportunity cost. And if I have too much, well, there is a cost control cost there also, right? Because I'll have to search for the warehouse to find where the stuff is stored, or I'll have to have a detailed warehouse management system or some kind of material location system to find out where the material is located. So there are costs on both sides. So what we do when we say manage inventory is we look at these costs and say, hey, which costs are more important? And then they arrive at how much inventory do we maintain. So let's take an example of this system where I have the family, I have a company which has three families of products and a component which they manufacture and sell. So I've given you some basic information about the cost of the product to the company, the life cycle, or how long does the product survive in the market before a new version comes out. That's what I mean by product life, and the margin of the product. So when I look at product one, the first thing I notice is that it is only 1.25 years. So the risk of obsolescence is high. And there is a high product cost. The holding cost, which is some proportion of $1,500, is going to be very high. So if I have excess stock, unsellable stock, it is going to be expensive for me. So what do I do is, for this product, I generally purchase close by so that I can reduce my pipeline. I can be flexible and change over to something else as soon as I know that there is a change in demand. I have tight control on inventory. It gives me higher control costs, but that's okay, because the product and the holding costs are very high. So I'm okay with that tight control. And I am going to order quite frequently, even if it's higher purchasing salaries, I'm okay because the $1,500 cost of the laptop will take care of that higher cost of purchasing salaries. Versus when I look at component one, well, it's a low margin product, and at the same time, it has a high product life. So I know, it's not the chance of obsolescence is very low. So for this particular product, what I'm going to do is produce far away at as cheap a cost as I can, produce in bulk so that I don't, I can slightly increase my margins or not put too much pressure on that. Make ordering very convenient. I don't want to control the cost. So I want convenient ordering, so which is easy, doesn't take too much, because if ordering cost goes up, salaries of purchasing goes up, the margin will reduce even further. So that's what I'll do for this product. And here I'm going to order infrequently. I don't want to order too much at one time. I don't want to order frequently and increase my transportation cost. I'm okay with holding a lot because it's just $125 compared to $1,500. So even if I stock a little bit more, it's not going to damage my cash back position as much. But yeah, so I try to reduce the purchasing and transportation cost associated with that. And family 2 and family 3 fall somewhere in between. But this is the idea. Now, what we did here is a very generic and a very sketchy way to decide how much am I ordering and when am I ordering. That's what we did. If you realize and go back on this video, but there are some systematic ways to do that, and those are the systematic ways that we are going to talk about in the next video.